So, question: do you remember what your first training program looked like? Do you remember it?
No.
Did you ever like go into the gym and like just work out, or like did you follow a program from like the get go?
I just worked out on my York fitness thing at home.
Oh yeah, I've done that too. I had the bench press. I just literally every single angle of incline, I just do 3 sets.
It's
of 10.
hilarious because like you're really good at pressing. I'm really good at pulling. All I did was
Lat
pull
pull
down.
Yeah, my workout, my workout at 15 was like, you know, when this thing with like the incline was like you just pulled the seat up and then pulled the rod out and put it into the next lot of holes.
Yeah.
So it went up in like 5-degree incline. So I would have done like 20 sets of chest.
Yeah.
And then
I wonder why my chest and delts are so big.
yeah, but the only downside is like I did a lot of bicep curls and I still have small arms.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, so I just think like I'm just doing them just to have small arms.
Yeah. Me and my mate did. We would have been 16.
Yeah.
We did a good 6 months, 8 months maybe, go in the gym 3 times a week.
Yeah.
And that was, I don't know where the program came from. I don't know if maybe a Gym 4 PT wrote it or something. Like,
yeah.
But we did like push day, pull day, leg day. I don't know where.
Yeah. That's good.
He was doing PE, so maybe it came from that. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I got a program from like the guy at the gym. And then like as soon as I got comfortable enough to like walk up to the biggest dude in the gym, I just like followed his program.
Yeah.
I'm just like, what are you doing? I'm just like, yeah. But I remember when he used to spot me, like he was lifting the weight, so it gave me like a false sense of like. So I remember the first time I benched 100 kilos.
Yeah.
I was really excited about it, but he was lifting it.
Yeah.
So
I was
then
going to say, did you go try and bench by yourself?
No, but when I did it without him, I couldn't do it. And I was real upset because I was happy at the time, and I was like, you didn't do that.
Yeah.
Like that's bullshit. And then he took away that moment that I was supposed to be happy that I benched 100 kilos for the first time.
Yeah.
So now, yeah, like if I ever saw him again, I'd let him know.
Fuck that guy.
He ruined my life.
Yeah.
Yeah. So benching 100 kilos is a big deal for a lifter.
Fuck yeah. It's a huge milestone. Yeah. I remember my first 100 kilo bench press. Don't remember my first program.
Took that away from me. Your first good program was when you started training with me.
Well, so
I didn't even know if it was a good program. It was like, it fucking killed you.
Fuck. So when I joined the gym, I had a footballer like write me a program that I followed. And then when I started working there, I did another kickstart with you.
Yeah.
And you were like, that program sucks. Fuck that guy.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
I was like, you need to train like a bodybuilder, man.
So then I did push, pull, legs, shoulders probably.
Yeah. The best
pro split.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I remember, I remember doing my first 5x5. Rob told me to do it.
Yep.
I don't know where that is in the timeline, but I remember doing it, getting real fucking strong, but not growing. Yeah. And then you were like, don't train like that to get big, bro.
Yeah, it's pussy strength.
We fixed it.
Yeah. Well, if you do 5x5, then you can't do the extra volume afterwards because you're tired.
Yeah, 100% fuck diet. And it's been an hour and a half. 4 exercises, 5x5. You're there for 3 hours.
Yep. So I guess like what I wanted to unpack today is just like your standard evolution of like lifting. And like how, like what I want to talk about is like what you necessarily did at the start isn't going to be the same as what it's going to take to kind of keep
try to look
further.
Good for the girls and then accept that you just look better for the boys.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've split this up. Into 3 phases. So I've called it the beginner phase, the strength era, and then the cost of staying here for too long. Like they're together, and then like
just dedicating your life to the strength phase.
I've called the last phase maturity, strategic lifting, aka being able to lift into your 30s and 40s pain-free or relatively pain-free. So I feel like the beginner phase is like just show up and train.
Yeah. Like
you knew, you're fresh, like you can do basically anything and you'll experience like exponential progress.
Yeah.
Like I think that's why I fell in love with training so much at the start. It's like it was just so addictive to just like get stronger every week.
Yeah.
And like even if I look at my diet, like it was awful. Like I would just eat like fucking meat pies and dim sims and
what a life.
You know, like I would just eat anything just anything that like would give me calories, right? Yeah. So there was no such thing as like working on a certain amount of volume. There was no frequency. There was no like even the form, man. Like it was like it's probably like a 70, like a 7 out of 10 in terms of form, maybe at best.
Better than most.
Yeah, but it's like you just train hard and your body responds quickly. Yeah. Like, would you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like when I'm trying to look at like the do's and don'ts in that period, it's like don'ts are probably like don't excessively lift to put yourself in danger because you don't have the ability to control your physique. Like you don't have the ability to control your body in movement, I guess.
Yep.
But then I'm like, in that first 12 months, it's like you kind of just need to fuck around and find out a little bit, right?
Yeah, it's
like it's like someone's going to sit there and say, well, you should follow a program from day one, right? Which I'm not against, and I think that strategic lifting is really good. But I'm also like you and I just went into the gym and just clanged the bang for a little bit, had some fun.
Yeah.
So I'm like, is that a do? Is it a don't? Like where does that lie?
I think it's just access, man. I couldn't afford help.
Yeah. Like, and I know now, like, fuck, man. Like, imagine I used to go on my computer, and it used to take like 10 minutes to just like load up like one row. Yeah, one row. Like, and you'd have some program.
Yeah.
And you're just like getting so excited just watching each like paragraph load, and then you have to print it out. So you remember the sleeves in the folder?
It's a little bit off topic, but I sent my client. She's doing the fires test in 2 weeks' notice.
Yeah, love that.
I'm like, okay, so add these to the end of your sessions for skill.
Yeah.
I'm like, I hope it's okay, but I've sent this as Word, like text only.
Yeah.
So you can put it in your notes because I'm not spending an hour editing your program.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, no, that's fine. And like now that's like, oh, it's so below par to have this instant message pop up that, it's fucking wild.
Yep. Anyway, I remember I used to have that like a folder sleeve, and then my program would be in there, and it'd just be a massive text from bodybuilding.com.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's a little bit of like testing the waters a little bit when you first starting out. Like there's still logical things with training that you need to have good form. You need to progressively overload. You need to have like an adequate frequency and like whatever. But I just feel like in that beginner period, like you can literally just do anything and like you'll get results as long as you don't hurt yourself.
So I'm going to come at this from a different angle. This just pops into my head. The biggest issue is staying.
Yeah.
So one of the biggest reasons people don't stay is they don't feel comfortable. They don't know what they're doing. Maybe they get hurt. Maybe they don't see progress. The first time they don't progress, it's like, I don't really know what to do. I'm not comfortable, all that kind of vibe. So if you don't get the bug in the first 2 weeks, I don't know if our approach works.
Like that really methodical...
Or just fuck around and find out when you're 16.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like if you're in your teens, early 20s, first time in the gym, having a structured plan would reduce a lot of anxiety about going, and that would keep you going.
That's actually a really good point. I guess like because I went like part of the point of me going to the gym was like it was social. Like we're hanging out with the boys, like catching a pump and like thinking we're mad dogs, which kind of hasn't changed. Where like, if you're not using that to go to the gym, then you absolutely need to lean on like that structure and stuff. Cause I was just like looking at my own kind of start to the gym and I was like, it's fucking fun. Like,
and how many people do you see like start the gym with their friend
and then their friend
stops going?
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, it's not social now.
Yeah.
We were just making it up, but it was fun because it was two of us. Now 100%. I don't know what to do.
Absolutely. Yeah. I can see that 100%. So that does hold true. So some form of structure, I just think it doesn't have to be like overly nuanced. So what I was trying to say is like it can be really simple. It's really like just good technique so you don't hurt yourself. Yeah. And like you just make sure you put the effort in and then just showing up. You know, those three things. But then the next phase from there is like that works up until a point.
Yeah.
Like even if you go in the gym and clang and bang for a bit and you just like change your program often, like you're still going to get results, but you're going to get to a point where that doesn't work anymore. Mm-hmm. So then it's like the progress slows and you realize that you need to get stronger. Yep. Like everybody gets to that point, right? You get to that point, you go, I'm not strong enough.
Yeah.
So then you chase bigger lifts and heavier loads. You improve your form. You build greater control because that's what lifting heavier demands. Yep. And you learn how to work hard and train closer to failure. Yep. Because when you get stronger, like you're working, on the cusp of that, and then like if you put good accessories in and things like that, like they're going to be trained, pretty close to failure, if not to failure in some instances. So you start thinking more about numbers. So the first part of it is just like you get this rapid progress, you're working on technique, and you're trying to learn how to show up often. And then you're like, I need to get stronger after that, which is probably about 12 months in. And you're just chasing numbers and really trying to perfect your form. So you're almost turning into like a robot in terms of your form and your control and trying to work really close to failure. So that obviously works really well until you're really strong. and then you continue to train that
Just
way
breaks you.
with high volumes, and then you break a lot. That's what I put in. So this is I believe this is where you go from like so the strength era is where you go from gym goer to someone who trains.
Yeah,
It's where where I think the strength era is where the lifters are made.
Yeah,
it's not a hobby anymore. Like you're taking this seriously. It's part of your lifestyle. Like you're pursuing this seriously.
Yeah, because it starts to get uncomfortable, right?
Yeah,
It's
and you're laying foundations for the future.
Yeah, it's like no one wants to get under a heavy barbell unless you like it. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
Just the average gym goer that goes and uses some machines and some dumbbells and stuff, and then it's like, okay, now we're going to see what you can bench for 5.
Yeah.
And it's going to be over your face and feel like you could possibly die.
Yeah.
Like now it's, like you said, now this is a sporting endeavor.
Yeah, absolutely. And like just putting this into context, like when I say you're trying to get strong, it's not you're trying to SBD.
Yeah, you don't have to be a powerlifter.
Yeah, like you're trying to lift weights with the idea of chasing numbers.
So in my head, I pictured you, me, and Reese with the fucking dip belt.
Yeah.
Like 20, 30, 40, 50 kilo dips. Just like, why?
Absolutely.
Because have to.
Because yeah, absolutely. Even and then just putting this into context of like, say you're like a young lady, you join the gym. It's like you do that newbie phase of training, like you get the control, like most of the reps are really high, and then eventually it's like, all right, well, now I'm gonna start hip thrusting 6s.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna start RDLing like 6s to 8s. Like where before it's like 8 to 12 because it's like low risk. It's easier to kind of control your body with like lesser weight. I think those scenarios, like that's what we're doing now. Is like we're going, well, I know I need to get stronger, and to get stronger, I need to lift heavier just with the movements that I need to do. I don't need to do like your quote unquote like typical powerlifting kind of movements.
I think for women, it's learning proximity of failure.
Yeah.
Like guys maybe do some stuff that they feel comfortable with and push it to the limit, like because it's fun. But I think the girls tend to still have a little bit of like, if I lift heavy, I'll get big, or I'm going to hurt myself.
Yeah.
Like generally the women are way more conscientious about how they'll approach the training.
Yeah.
So they want to get it right. Yeah. At the cost of effort.
At the cost of intensity.
Whereas men will be just effort. I'll be fine.
I just brute force this out with my fresh joints.
And then to get the two to kind of come together, it's like be conscientious about how you're moving.
Yeah.
And then apply intensity to both demographics. We start to bring that together, and it's a lifter.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So I had a lot of fun in the strength era. Like I know a lot of people like to kind of knock the way I train now, but it's going to make a lot of sense after this. But I had a good amount of time just like under a barbell and doing your benches and doing your bent over rows and doing squats. Like man, I trained basically like a hybrid powerlifter for 3 to 5 years.
How powerlifters should train.
Yeah, like you do your strength component at the start and then but it just got to a point where I was just that strong that it was taking too long to warm up.
Yeah.
I was just like moving weights that were affecting the volume that I needed after the session to actually build my physique, which is what my goal was.
Yeah.
So like I kind of put here like that kind of like after that phase, I feel like you have 2 directions. It's kind of like a Goosebumps novel, you just like turn to this page. Yeah, that's it. So you like, am I pursuing like strength and, maybe body composition management? You're going to go this way.
Yeah.
And it's like, am I pursuing some form of like physique development that needs hyper specificity?
Yeah.
Like it's bodybuilding.
Yeah.
To me, like acute to me, then I need to go this way.
Yeah.
And those chains of thoughts are different from that point onwards. But I still feel like smart training applies to all, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right?
We even talk about it like when we educate, like our programming models and stuff, we have the STC paradigm. It's like get to a baseline of strength
and pick your
and there'll be a weakness you need to improve. And that's like, I want to continue to get really strong. Sweet. You're going to need to fine-tune skill and this and this and this. We go in this direction. Or it's I want to get as big as possible or as lean as possible. It's like, cool, we're going to fine-tune this and
Absolutely.
that direction. And then typically you'll be like, you went down say you go down the physique road. It's like at some point you're going to be limited by how much you can lift. So we go into a strength phase again and then come back. And
yeah, absolutely.
like you said, the Goosebumps novel evolves from there.
Yeah. And But what's important, I think, is that at all times, like someone can manage their body composition doing both. So I think
100%.
it's like you have to really kind of ask yourself, like, am I motivated by like chasing numbers and kind of just managing my weight? Or am I motivated by like building a physique that I like to see in the mirror and managing my weight, or for example? And then if you like are someone who likes all three, it's absolutely fine.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, like you can manage your body composition, build a physique you want, and be strong. It's just like the programming has to be a little bit different. And when you become more trained, like the things we're going to talk about in this like maturity phase, like have to hold true. Like it's just like you just can't do everything all at once.
The idea of being fat because you powerlift is dead. Surely that's dead now.
Yeah, I think the only reason I think people do it now is still there's like a bit of added strength that you get from
100%.
just being a little bit heavier.
Yeah.
And adding the muscle mass and what it takes to get that is just not fast enough.
Yes.
And adding some body fat is going to allow that person to just, kind of have a little bit more mass on them to drive more weight.
Yep.
That's the only reason that I can see you do that. And then if you get hung up on that, like, then you just stay there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you still add muscle, but you keep that extra kind of bit of body fat. So you're just always like 15 kilos heavier than you should be.
It's even just like one of the best packages, I would say like photo shoot.
Yeah.
And then competing 2019.
Yeah.
90 kilos.
Yeah.
12 to 15% body
You still
fat.
had like lines in your delts and shit when you deadlifted and stuff.
Yeah, like it was. That's probably
good look.
As good a package as I brought, and I fucking like totaled 610. So it's like good outcome. Was in shape, and then I was just like, I have to push. I know I need to be this body weight, so I'm just gonna get there and recomp from there.
Yeah,
which isn't a choice you have to make. But like, so many of my girls, man, it's like are in really good shape. Yeah, competing in powerlifting.
The interesting thing I think though is if you just did like an 8-week prep after the shoot, you could have pulled probably 550.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Yeah. Like so you don't you can still you still have it.
Yeah, well, like I did it with Jess. So I fucking equal comp bench.
Yeah,
and I was like 10 kilos off my deadlift, and I didn't prep at all.
Yeah, and that's awesome. So that leads on to the next level.
Yeah.